Well, it's Artist Spotlight on Life 97.5 FM. You know what we do. Every week we chat with a gospel artist, wherever they may be around the world, proclaiming the love, the life of Jesus Christ and the gospel. And I'm so pleased to have with us today Kay Soul from Chicago. She's a recording artist, songwriter, and aspiring plus model there based in Chicago who began writing and singing songs in elementary school. So I know Kay has a lot to share with us. Welcome, Kay Soul.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, how are you? How is it over there in Chicago right now?
I'm good. The snow is over, so we're happy about that. Looking forward to some spring weather coming in through here.
Yes, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, Kay Soul, tell us a bit about yourself. I mean, you've been doing this since elementary school. That's a long time. So you're well seasoned and you know your stuff. But tell us, who is Kay Soul?
You know, um, my roots are definitely music has been something that has always been an outlet for me. It was a way for me to channel my emotions, and just to deal with life, if you will. I think K Soul is a healer. I'm a storyteller. I believe my music is meant to touch the soul of people, to inspire them to not only be encouraged, but to also ask themselves those questions about their emotions and maybe their mental health and those matters of the heart that are sometimes difficult to talk to. And so my music speaks to those things.
That is amazing. So then what would you say is your genre, or do you stick to a specific genre or not necessarily?
I like to consider
Flourish
myself to
most in
be
us. Yes. Go ahead.
I like to consider myself to be a genre bender. I'm heavily influenced by a lot of different music, whether it be gospel or pop or rap or R&B. I often do get classified as the neo soul type vibe, which I do think is probably the truest to what it is I do. But I definitely am a fusion type of an artist.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, who were some of your mentors or influences back in the day?
Wow. Gosh, my grandfather used to listen to Billie Holiday, Lena Horne, Miles Davis. So,
Mm.
I started from there, moving into, Stevie Wonder and Patti LaBelle, Michael Jackson, to, your more recent people, heavily still influenced by old school hip hop and Queen Latifah and Jay-Z and, the neo soul movement with Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. So, it kind of my musical influences stretch across multiple decades.
Wow, okay, that's amazing. All right, well, tell us about your music. When did you start? Well, before the music, could you tell us about your walk with the Lord? And do you remember when you got saved and can share that experience with us?
I grew up in a very religious household. So it was church every Sunday, it was Bible study during the week, it was choir rehearsal on the weekend. So that was always a heavy part of my life. But I definitely was touched by the word, but it would be the singing for me. It was always the choir and the praise and worship team. That's what always would touch my heart. That's what always felt so beautiful, to be able to express, to sing to God, basically, to sing your love for Him. So I knew early on that any music that I would create, I wanted it to have that same element. I wanted to give praise because I believe my voice, my talent is a gift from God. So I definitely want to use it to glorify Him and to, serve His people in the way that would be most helpful.
Wonderful. All right. Well, tell us then, at what point did you decide, you know what, let me just take this a little more seriously and go to the next level with my music? What happened there?
I went to college, went to law school, became an attorney, and I was still doing music a lot on the side, kind of in and out the studio, but I wasn't really happy. with what I was doing. A really good friend of mine was killed in a car accident.
Mm.
And once that happened, it was kind of that turning point that happens, and you look at your own life and you start to question, am I really living my life to the fullest? Am I doing everything that I love? And whenever I thought about it, it always came back to the music. And I decided then, that was about 9 years ago, that, I needed to really get serious about pursuing my music on a full-time basis.
That's amazing. So doing this full time, and that was when?
That was about 9 years ago, 2012.
2012, 9 years ago. So how has it been going for you as a full-time gospel artist?
It's had its ups and downs. You try to get into it as much as you can. I didn't have any big like connections, so it was really a grind, really trying to get out there. I started doing a lot of open mics and, just trying to get myself out there, see who the people were that were in the industry, that were making moves in the city. So, but I've been blessed though, truly, to have gotten some great opportunities to really take my career to the next level.
Wow. Well, tell us then, how has K Soul changed in the past 9 years? What's your biggest life lesson in this journey?
There's definitely been a lot of evolution as a person, as an artist, as a woman, as a mother, as a creative. I think for me, the biggest lesson has been about the preserving mental health, really tapping into those emotions. I think a lot of times things happen to us and we deal with them in maybe not so healthy ways, or we don't deal with them at all. And in my process of growing through this, I've really learned that in order for me to really give my listeners the greatest experience, I have to be able to deal with some of those things, because how can I express healing if I'm not going through the healing process myself?
That is amazing. And that seems to be the center of your message, because we're all members of the same body, but each part has a different function. And so that is where you thrive. That is your heartbeat, would you say?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe that is where my ministry lies, in that healing journey.
Wonderful. So in the past 9 years, you have released some wonderful music and you've been doing well. Yeah. And tell us about your last album. I mean, you released your last album in October last year, In My Mind. Oh, good.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
In my mind, it's a labor of love. I mean, all the work is, but In My Mind to me was a work of evolution for me. I began writing it in 2019. I was going through some of my own personal struggles, and just still trying to understand and evolve. And I felt like, I know I'm not the only person that's dealing with this. I know there are other people that are feeling this way or experiencing it this way. Even if how we got to these emotions aren't the same, the emotions themselves are still the same. If you feel hurt, if you feel rejected, if you feel used, we all know what that feels like. And so I wanted to share that with my listeners. I wanted to share what was in my mind, what was in my heart, but in a way that felt hopeful, to show that, yeah, you have these dark spaces, but you can get to the other side. And here's a little encouragement. Here's, some stories of how I got to the other side and how I got to this resolve. So that's how we got to In My Mind.
Amazing. And how many tracks are on it?
11.
11 tracks. And how has it been doing? I won't steal your thunder. I'm seeing some fantastic accolades, but I want you to tell us how the album has been doing.
I think it's been well received. We're almost at 20,000 streams right now, especially coming right before holiday season. I've had some pretty significant write-ups as a result. So it's been really exciting. The accolades are always nice, of course, because you want that validity. But I think for me, just having people inbox me or reach out or leave me a message to say how they were encouraged, or those are the things that really warm my heart and make me feel like it's successful, because it's deeper than just, hey, listen to me, here's my album. It's like, I'm trying to give something to the world that will benefit. So for people to receive it in that way has been really amazing for me.
Wonderful. And how long was the album in the making?
I would say I recorded it for about a year. I started writing in 2019. I went into the studio. I usually do some pre-production in my home studio before I go into the big studio. But I started in the big studio about January, and I recorded the last song in August. So about 8 months. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So October 2020 released, and it's been doing so well. You have 20,000 streams, and it's being distributed by The Orchard.
Yes, it is, which was a blessing.
That's fantastic. Division subsidiary of Sony Music, and so it's been distributed by The Orchard. So how can people access it?
It is currently on all major platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon, Pandora. Wherever people are listening to their music, they can put in K-Soul in My Mind and it'll pop right up.
Wonderful, wonderful. And how can people connect with you, K-Soul?
My website is ksoulmusic.com. And I'm also very active on social media, specifically on my Instagram. So that's at ksoulmusic. And if they, leave me a message or comment, I always try to respond and get back to everybody that reaches out to me.
That is wonderful, wonderful. Where do you see yourself? How do you see yourself in another couple of years?
I hope to tour. I'm to the point now where I've created so much music that I would love to be able to present it in a live way, to really have that intimate interaction with my listeners. So that's the goal, is to tour and to just continue to be diligent. I have a new EP that I'm actually working on called Connections. That is a companion piece to In My Mind. So I'll be releasing a single from that on April 23rd called Strong Connection. So it's just continuing to push the music forward, continuing to push the brand, continuing to hopefully impact the world in a positive way.
That is wonderful. K-Soul at ksoulmusic.com. Check out her songs. Check out her album, In My Mind. 11 wonderful tracks for you to listen to. Distributed by The Orchard, a subsidiary of Sony Music. So you know it's good. It's got to be good. Thank you so much, K-Soul. Is there any final word you wanted to leave with us?
Thank you for having me today. I just want to encourage everybody out there that it's never too late to pursue your goals and your dreams. Start today. Whatever you feel like you're missing, you're not missing it. You have it. Just start today.
Amen. God bless you. Thank you so much for sharing with us here, and hope that, we'll see you sometime in the future.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless.